My #2 employee from eMachines gave me a call and said, boss, I've just found this unbelievable technology that allows, whole bunches of users to share a PC, and I think we can build these client devices to sell for much less than $100. I asked a few questions. I said, well, Young, if you can really do this, you potentially can change the world. NComputing is about desktop virtualization. We're about taking the unused power of any desktop PC and allowing that unused power to allow 10, 20, 30 simultaneous users to use one machine. We sell the software and the client devices, which together cost from $70 a workstation compared to $300 to $400 for a traditional PC. The company has an interesting history, starting out as a German-Polish software company which spent 10 years creating vSpace, which is to be an Uber Citrix solving the cost, complexity, and user experience problems, which then was acquired by a Korean company which then focused on building complementary client devices which were low cost, exceptional user experience, reliable, simple to install, and then when we raised institutional venture capital money here in the Bay Area, we became an American company with Korean, German, and Polish operations. As we brought the products to market in 2006, and because of our Korean and German background, we were in shows around the world, we did a quick scan of who the dealers were selling our products to. And what we saw was education, schools in Malaysia, schools in the Philippines, schools in Brazil, India, etc. We got the message. If you look at education, they have two really key problems. Number one is what marketplace needs the largest number of workstations for students with the smallest amount of money to spend. It's always education. And therefore, education reacted to the fact that these devices, fully deployed, cost 1/4 the cost of a traditional PC. Well, it's quite amazing. I mean, here in the United States, based on IDG's numbers for purchasing in education in the second quarter, we already, after just 2 years of being in the market here, have 15% of all current workstation purchases in U.S. K-12 education. That's spectacular. Last year, it had become so profound that we were invited to brief Secretary Spellings because her Office of Technology said this is rising so quickly that she needed to understand it from a policy perspective. Beyond the United States, our largest market internationally is education as well, and we've won some of the largest educational deployments worldwide with 180,000 workstations in, of all places, Macedonia, to give every single student in the country their own dedicated computer workstation. In India, 50,000 seats in the state where Hyderabad is the capital. First time the government has ever put computer workstations in public schools, and in fact we just won an award for the most socially important computer deployment in India last year. And this has continued everywhere. Mexico, I believe half of the states of Mexico are purchasing NComputing workstations for their primary education. We just recently announced a project with a rural school district in Louisiana called Tangipahoa. I can't say that twice. And it's a small school district, 20,000 total students. And when they received their stimulus funding, they said, we may not get an opportunity to buy more computers for a couple of years here because schools' funding is predominantly based off real estate taxes and state level and municipal level transaction taxes, and that's going to be way down for several years until the recovery is finished. So, in fact, they spent the entire stimulus funds on IT and deployed 6,000 of our workstations to get to 1 for every 3 students, which is just spectacular to be able to have that kind of an impact, knowing that if it was traditional PCs, it would have been 1 for like 12 or 15 students. Well, you know, we're in a very uncertain economic climate right now, and the markets for IPOs are just beginning to come back. I think we've seen some very successful transactions in the last few months. We regularly are in communication with the investment banking community, and we're told that based on our current run rate and our forecast for next year, that we could expect opportunities if the marketplace holds up in the back half of next year. We won a laureateship from the Tech Museum of Innovation this past year in economic development for creating a technology which has created sustainable IT ecosystems in the developing world where none have existed before. The question of can a good company be a good company is one that, you know, we're the answer, and it's absolutely yes. It's had profound effects on our company. You know, we've got about 160 employees. We're headquartered here in Silicon Valley. Our voluntary turnover has essentially been zero. I think we've had 2 people leave the company, and that's unheard of in the Silicon Valley where turnover is 20%. We have the former head of the Windows group at Microsoft, who also ran their emerging markets division, as an investor and member of our board, and he is now a social technologist in his life after Microsoft. Bill Platt, who runs our software development group, used to run the Solaris and Java groups at Sun. So arguably 2 of the 5 top software executives in the industry have gravitated to us because not only are we at the leading edge of technology, desktop virtualization, cloud workstations, and the like, but because of the very low cost of these solutions, we have enabled vast new markets outside of the United States and in underserved markets in the U.S. like education, which has made a tremendous social impact. And it's something we're tremendously proud of, our team is proud of, and it ripples through the entire fabric of the organization in a sense of social significance. We're working very closely with the United Nations, and we can do all this while having a, quote, software company gross margin and building a fantastic business at the same time. It doesn't get better than that. I got the best job in the world.